Hi, my name is Keith Steva from Hamilton County, Lake Norton area. And I think this is for Senator Frerichs. We talked about the wind energy revenues, and I'm definitely a proponent of trying to keep that as local to the area where the wind turbines are being placed. I would just like him to clarify how that works, right now, with the changes proposed, and specifically addressing, how much of that revenue does stay local versus what we distribute statewide. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Mr. Steva. And so the bill that I have, I'm sorry I don't keep track of the numbers always the best, it's more on the little bit 138, Senate Bill 138 is the bill number, so please call anyone's attention to that. I know the superintendent from Dubrook is going to come out and testify for the bill, or at least she's a proponent if it works in her schedule, along with, of course, the wind industry and working with them. And the city of Summit, actually, their economic development is who brought the idea to me, because there's going to be a significant increase in wind turbines placed in that south of Summit area, west of Summit. And to this point, I think there's very little opposition. We're kind of in a new age in wind industry now, where there's people that love it and there's people that hate it. But if it's in a school district where they have welcomed the wind energy industry, it only seems fair that with this new development that a portion of those proceeds can stay locally. And so right now everything is being moved into basically being shared statewide with all school districts. And so what the bill that we have would keep 50% of those revenues locally after year 5. So it's kind of a step down for only new wind projects. It's a step down approach where I think it takes basically 90% after the first year, and then 80 or 75, and then it just keeps stepping, but it'll stop at 50%. The current process, without this bill, currently it would step it all the way down to where eventually after 10 years, none of it would stay locally. So the change is stop at 5 years and keep that locally with the school district for new wind. And if you're wondering where will these dollars come from, and I know we have various officials from Aberdeen School, and there's other schools here I'm sure too represented. If you're wondering, well, if you don't have wind, is this going to affect you? Well, I would look at it this way. First off, it doesn't affect the state side of the formula at all. And I've been given that commitment from the education department, even though the governor's office and the education department are opposing it, because the governor was adamant that all those extra revenues need to be shared with everyone. So will there be an impact to other schools? Possibly, but it's going to most likely be, and it's going to be minuscule, but you would probably notice it on the local effort side among those other schools. But again, if you don't have wind in your district, it's a whole different situation. So I feel it's more of an equity type of issue because when these projects happen, not everyone has a wind tower, of course, in their land that supports the projects. And what they provide for the local economy is very important, but also the people that live there, they deal with the effects of having the wind industry. So why not share in some of that resource and keep it locally? So Senate Bill 138, thank you for the question. I hope I clarified. I'll be around afterwards though too, Keith.
Yeah, Bill 2 is that.
I told Mike if nobody jumps up right away, I'd like to speak to this too. I appreciate the efforts that Senator Frerichs is taking up relative to this issue. And I guess one thing that I heard last year that I'd like to share is that some of those in the wind industry are finding that because the system was changed dramatically with the education funding rewrite, that they're now finding impediments to entering local areas. People have said, well, if our school ends up losing revenue over time, why would we do this? If the dollars aren't going to stay local. Understand that the counties, they still receive the same share that they always would have. But they feel that the redistribution of wealth, so to speak, should not occur. And I know that there are several districts who have told me that they will be affected they're going to be affected because of existing projects, and Groton is one of them, Howard is one of them, Clark is certainly one of them. So I guess to put it differently, if in my county there is development, then why should anybody in that area have to share the wealth with people in Sioux Falls or Rapid City? They certainly aren't sharing their sales tax revenues with us. And so it was a sea change to existing policy that really is to the detriment of school districts and economic development.